Welcome to Why Are We Like This, a Heartstopper podcast. I'm Ashley, she, her, and today we have a very special guest.
Hi, Ian Carlos Crawford, he, him.
Welcome, Ian.
Hi.
I can't believe this is the first time that we're getting
I know.
together on this space.
I know.
So
Rude that it's our first time.
I know. For everyone who doesn't know, Ian is the host of Slayerfest 98 and co-host for My Bloody Judy, which is a horror podcast. So if you're into Buffy or horror, check out Ian.
Or anything I like, honestly, with
True.
Slayerfest.
Yeah, it's more pop culture focused, I suppose.
And Ashley is my lovely editor. I just had someone email me yesterday, Ashley, to say they really like the podcast, but they wanted to know if they could work for me and be my editor. And I was like, how do I tell them that I already have one?
Trying to come for my job? All right, so we've never had you, so let's get your overall thoughts on how you found Heartstopper and how you felt about it.
So when it started, the graphic novels first started blowing up, I was working at Barnes & Noble. So I remember, because we couldn't get them in, because I can't remember if they were self-published at first or just a super small press, but it was hard for us to get more than two.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was volumes 1 and 2 had been out when it started blowing up. As I remember when volume 3 came out, and but the other two were already out, I think. So I always I've known what it was. I've been familiar with it, but I never read the comics. And honestly, I wanted to watch the show, but I wasn't that. I was I'm going to watch this, but then you talking about it got me to pushed me to be okay, put this at the top of my list. Let me watch this. And it's fucking adorable. Makes me cry. I'm weird with cutesy things because I can be very hit or miss. Sometimes if something's too cute, I'm not for me, you know? But even though this is really cutesy, I don't feel like it's I don't even know what the word I'd use. It's not annoyingly cutesy. It just is cute. Do you know what I mean? Because there are some things where it's all right.
Yeah. I talk a lot about the balance. They do a really good job of balancing it in this show in general. Just the overwhelming and heavier parts of it are balanced out really nice with the cutesy, lovey-dovey.
You know, that's probably exactly what it is, because but they'll do a cutesy, but then they'll also have this person's, being depressed or having a panic attack or whatever. And that's not played off as oh, no big deal, whatever. They actually sit in those moments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So how did you feel about season 2?
I liked it. I thought it was, I mean, I feel now I'm sounding like one of those people. Season 1 was just so good. And it was the thrill of getting to watch them get together. And season 2 was a little okay. It was still really cute and I enjoyed it. But honestly, I remember a lot less from season 2.
Interesting.
I probably remember parts from season 1, even though I haven't rewatched. I would remember parts from season 1 better than season 2.
Okay, that's valid. I lean season 2 over season 1, and I'm very shocked to report back that we do a poll with every episode that we post. And for our season 2 wrap, I was all right, guys, I'm going to ask the question, season 1 or season 2? And season 2 blew season 1 out of the water. I was
surprising.
So shocked that I thought for sure people were going to come for me.
It's always a nice surprise when they don't, right?
Yeah. I was oh, no, okay, I'm in the majority? Strange.
It really is so nice when you brace for impact and then it's oh, no, I'm good. Okay, good.
Yeah. So that poll ended today. So I'm still riding the confusion of season 2 won.
Which one does Alyssa like better?
Alyssa's season 1. Yeah, she falls for season 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and I understand both of them. It's really, really fucking hard to pick. And I always say this is what I'm saying right now, but that doesn't mean that in 2 months I'm not gonna say JK season 1 is better. It just depends.
That's how I am with Buffy episodes, honestly. It's my top 3, maybe my top 5 are always the same, but then it really depends on my mood, what I've watched more recently, because sometimes if it's something you love so much, I feel you can, different phases of your life, where you are, you relate more to certain things, right?
Yep, that's exactly what I said in our last episode. It's depending on what you're going through in your life and what point you're at, different things are gonna hit you differently,
Yeah.
and so parts of it are gonna mean more or mean less at
Yeah.
different times in your life.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So I have watched the teaser trailer probably like 50 times now. But this is Ian's first time watching
Yes.
it, so we are going to get a genuine reaction. It is just a short little scene clip that they gave us with the release date of
Okay.
October the 3rd.
The only thing I've seen from this was on Twitter when Charlie opens the door and it's like the
Mhm.
same, done the same way as it was. But that's not a spoiler. It's just him opening the door. So,
Right, yeah. So, all right.
all
Are
right.
we ready to watch it?
Yes, ma'am.
3, 2, 1, play.
Nick, I love you. You don't have to say it back yet. I don't want you to feel pressured to.
I'm shocked you haven't said it already.
I don't want him to have to say the awkward I love you too because he feels obligated to.
You don't think he feels the same? Tell him today.
I do remember them giving her more to do in season 2, which I liked.
Mhm.
Hi. Hi.
They're so cute.
I've never seen you in a vest before.
I can't handle it.
Well, I've never seen you in a cap before. Right, should we go? Yeah.
I've never seen you in a vest before. Your arms got huge.
Right?
Aw, so cute.
So cute. I love the bubble letters. Fully obsessed.
I love that style that when they do like a little bit of animation, I think it's
Mhm.
like, I don't know, it always works for me.
Yeah, it's like the really good mates scene from season 2.
I don't remember that, honestly.
It's when the rugby lads are like saying, "We know you and Charlie are really good mates," and
Oh,
then
yep.
he sees like a compilation of them making out, and it's like giant bubble letters, "Really good mates." So cute.
Ms.
Um,
Marvel did that too with like
oh, cute.
cartoony. Yeah.
It helps it feel like the source material.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And I
but
feel like it almost adds like a little bit of like fun YA to it. Like,
yes, yeah, a little bit of like fantasy romance in there.
yeah.
It's very cute. The song is an unreleased Billie Eilish song.
Oh, okay.
From what Alice said on the Q&A she did today on Tumblr, it's just going to be for the like it's not going to be in the show, it's just for the trailer.
Okay.
But it is like they teamed up with Billie's team to promote this song and
That's
the
pretty
show
legit.
together, right? And then Matt Biffa also tweeted and said that there was a story behind it that he hopes comes out in time. That's the music supervisor.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to hearing that story later after the season comes out, hopefully. Couple of things. It's
Okay.
coming out on October the 3rd.
Oh,
Not
okay.
only is that Boyfriend Day, it's also Look at the Leaves Day.
Wait, what?
Yeah, which is wild. That first of all, that there's a day for Look at the Leaves. There's a day for everything, though, I guess, but that can't be a coincidence.
No, I'm sure not. When I used to work, I don't even remember the name of it. I worked for a weather app for like, it was like in a startup building, whatever. It was only like a month and then I got another job and quit. But it was like a weather app that like would send you little things about the weather, but we always had to include like a cute GIF, and we had to keep track of every one of those dumb days. Like it was like today's National Elephant Day, so every image and GIF has to be an elephant, like shit like that. Yeah, and so you're right. There is like a day for everything, and also like
Everything.
any day could be a thing.
Yep. Yep. The other note that I want to make for the date is that this is now Wednesday, but this came out on Monday, and there was 143 days until October the 3rd. And you may remember that pagers and beepers and stuff back in the day, 143 is I love you.
You might remember because you're old Ian. Geez.
I'm also old.
But no, I think the thing that I do think is hilarious is like how like jacked Kit is, and like you just can't pretend he's not. Like,
Yeah. The juxtaposition of season 1 ending and then season 2 being like, I came out to my mom last night, and it's like, well, you're like 3 years older looking now, and also you've like tripled your body weight. Like, wow, you really worked some shit out at the gym last night, huh?
Just last night.
Yeah.
Even Joe looks like more mature. Like he looked
Yes.
like not like old, but you know what I mean. Like he doesn't look like 15 or anything.
Right. Yeah. In season 1, they looked like little tiny babies.
Yeah.
Like it was like, whoa, this is so realistic. They're so young, and like, and then we got to season 2, and it's like, okay, suspend my disbelief a little bit more than season 1.
I feel like between this and Stranger Things, where it's like the kids still stay kids, I'm starting to realize why 20 and 25-year-olds are cast as teenagers, because then they don't look
Right.
older,
Yep.
and then it's just like whatever, that's what they look like.
Yeah.
I can't remember. What year are they supposed to be? They graduated, right? Or no?
In Heartstopper?
Yeah.
No, they are 10 and 11th in season 1. And then season 2 is the summer. So season 3, they'll be going into 11 and 12. And they have 13 years in the UK.
Oh, okay.
So still should be younger than they look. I think if we get a season 4, it's really going to be, they're going to be so much different, because like Joe is like really, I feel like, changing lately too. And then Kit's like doing that war movie, so he's like at military boot camp right now, and I'm like, he's gonna get even more jacked,
Even
like
more, like
God. So I guess we'll see. Season 4 has not been ruled out yet, so
okay. Because there isn't a 4th graphic novel, right?
There's 6.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. So the 6th one is being written right now. It'll be the end.
Okay.
So the vest line, in the comics, he says tank top.
Oh, really?
Yes, in both the UK and the US edition.
Oh, huh.
And so, shout out to our Chaos Gremlins on Discord. We have been having a vest versus tank top debate for 2 full days because people are from all different countries, and so we've been going back and forth on who calls what. Like, what is a vest to you? What is a tank top to you? Because, like, to me, a vest is either like fancier wear or like something you wear for warmth.
I mean, yeah,
not a tank top.
I just know that in the UK they call it a vest, but but yeah, for me a vest is like something that is maybe shaped like a tank top, but is like shorter and like has buttons.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Or it's like padded and a zip up, so you can like put it on for extra warmth.
Yeah. But it doesn't have sleeves.
Right. Correct. Yeah. And so she said on her Q&A today, somebody asked, like, well, why did you change it from tank top to vest? And she was like, well, I thought about somebody saying tank top with a British accent and thought how weird it would sound. And so we just switched it to vest, because sometimes I write things in the comics and then thinking about a person saying them out loud is actually really awkward and weird. And so we just changed those lines. I'm like, that's fair.
Fair enough. Yeah. Is she British?
She is, yeah.
Okay. I don't think I realized that.
Yeah. I think she said in the past that the schools are like loosely based on like the schools in her area that she experienced. So
that makes sense. Is this show like, I can't remember, is this like Sex Education where it's like nondescript town?
No, I think it's supposed to be
Kent.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know, it's supposed to be the like Kent area.
Okay. That's like have I told you that I live the town that the writer who wrote the first Halloween, not John Carpenter, whoever the other person who like wrote it, he's from like 2 towns over, and that's what he based a town called Haddonfield that is like 2 towns over from me, and he based it on that. And the movie does like, it kind of does look like Haddonfield. It's like a suburban area with bigger houses.
I did not know that.
Yeah. When Zach came to visit, we were like driving through that town to get somewhere, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot to tell you, we just drove through Haddonfield. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, the writer from Halloween, he's from here, and that's why it's called Haddonfield.
I'm surprised he wasn't like, turn around.
Yeah.
Go back. So the little bits of scenes that we got, super excited to get more Tori.
Yes, I did really, because right, season 2 is when they kind of like gave her more.
Yeah, and she's supposed to have even more development in season 3.
Okay. I liked her, yeah.
And because do you know like the origin of Heartstopper?
Mm-mm.
So Alice's first novel is called Solitaire, and it's about Tori.
You know
And
what? I think you told me about this. I remember you telling me that like Heartstopper came from something else.
yeah, and so she wrote Nick and Charlie as a couple as this like side storyline in Solitaire, and then was like, I really like them and I want to explore them more. And so
Yeah.
then she started doing the graphic novel,
Hmm.
and that's how Heartstopper was born. Um, and then there's also,
So weird to think Heartstopper is like technically a spinoff.
yeah, right. There's also some other novellas that she wrote this winter and Nick and Charlie that are like offshoots that tell the same story but different time periods. So like Nick and Charlie is set after Heartstopper will end. And then this winter is going to be included in season 3. They're like
Okay, so not
working
like
that storyline in.
I thought you meant like Nick and Charlie, but set in the 50s, or Nick and Charlie, but set in the 80s.
No, it's Nick and Charlie, but like 2 years after Heartstopper will
Okay.
be set or something like that. Don't hold me to that
It's not
date.
like an alt universe or something.
Right. It's
Okay.
just they're older in it. And so it's set like after Nick graduates.
Okay.
And so that she said would be in season 4 if we get a season 4. So
Is she like, I mean, I hate to name drop this person, but is she like the annoying Harry Potter author in the good way where she like planned it all out before she started? Is that like, oh no, oh okay.
no, she's still very much working on like how to end this. She's been posting about writing the final volume and like figuring out how to do it justice and make it line up with the Nick and Charlie novella and like just the mess that comes with that.
That is a bold like thing to do. Be like, well, I'm gonna write the future. I don't really know where we're going, but like,
Yeah, right. I mean, she knows their end game. She's always been very like upfront about the fact that like they're gonna get married and like have a family. So no need to worry about that if they have any fights or anything like that. Like it's all gonna work out. Which is good to know, honestly, especially in queer romance. It's always like, fuck, is one of them gonna die? Like, what's gonna happen?
Right.
You know? So, yeah, it's nice to know that they're gonna be in game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's God, there was something else I was gonna reference in reference to that. Oh, in Harley Quinn, how like they have very much said like they will fight, but they're not
Yes.
breaking up. Like
Yes, I always appreciate when they go ahead and just let us know. Like, thank you for lowering my stress levels.
Yeah.
But Tori, yeah, so they're going to expand her story. I already know some of it from the comics. There is going to be several new cast members. I don't know if you saw, but Jonathan Bailey from Bridgerton is joining
No, I
the
didn't see that.
cast. Yeah. I'm very excited about his scenes. I love that they're including, so his character is pulled from a mini comic that was written by someone else.
Oh.
So Alice, when they're putting out the like new parts of the comic 1 week at a time or whatever, they will mix in guest artists, little mini comics that they write about the characters. And so there's one that they're gonna have, and I'm gonna send you a picture of his character when we get off, because perfect. I mean, perfect match. I don't know how they managed to pluck these actors that look like they were made in a fucking lab after these drawings, because it's like it's wild how accurate some of them are. So we'll get him and his character. Then Tori's got a new friend that's gonna be introduced. We also have Haley Atwell.
Oh right. Well, who's she playing?
She's playing Nick's aunt.
Okay.
So he's gonna go on like a little family vacation in season 3, and she will be his aunt that he goes on vacation with.
And Olivia Colman is not. Didn't they say like she couldn't do it?
Yeah, they couldn't. Yeah, so Alice had to do some rewrites. They said
okay, they didn't like recast her.
No, they're not going to.
Good.
And they confirmed, not in today's Q&A, but in a past Q&A, that we'll likely hear Sarah off screen or she will be mentioned. She's not just going to be completely missing the
Okay.
from the story. She's just not physically going to be there.
I mean, the good thing is, I mean, I love her and she's great, but like the good thing is she's not like she was like in that many
Right.
scenes. So it's like, oh, it's like won't be like, wait, this is a character we saw all the time.
Right.
So I feel like
Exactly.
that's okay. Yeah.
That it was very worrisome when we found out that she was not going to be there, but we were not sure if the vacation was going to be included because that's a
Mm.
huge like turning point in the story, and Sarah's there at that vacation and some of her lines are like very important, and so people were freaking out about like, oh my god, are they going to cut this like huge important scene? And Alice was like, no, but like his aunt's going to be there and she's going to deliver those lines, so like
And I love Haley Atwell, so
yeah, it's going to be good. And then also we will get Charlie's therapist,
okay.
whose actor's name I've already forgotten.
Hmm.
Um, but so those are the new additions that we know of. And did you happen to watch the like announcement last month?
Mm-mm.
So they did an announcement just like season 3 is coming, blah 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 blah, and they were filmed. It was like behind the scenes stuff that they filmed for the last episode of season 3.
Okay.
And so they're like at a school carnival and they're just like having a good time and hanging out. And I think Charlie's band plays a set, so that'll be fun to
All right.
see. So I thought it was super important that they showed us those scenes first because we know that this season's going to be a little darker and a little heavier, and Charlie's mental health is going to be like a real focus of season 3. So seeing those the like first looks we got be so like happy and bubbly and like this is where the season's going to end
Mm.
is like a really good way to reassure people, especially people who haven't read the comics but have seen the statements from the cast saying that like it's going to be heavier and darker and we're going to talk
Yeah.
about mental health and self-harm. And so like just a very smart move on their part to show us that. And then this also is like super bubbly and happy and like just letting us know that it is still Heartstopper and it's still going to be like sugary sweet, but also they're going to talk
Yeah.
about some heavier stuff, and it's going to get a lot spicier. um so there will be some spicy stuff. The ratings are getting changed from what I'm hearing. It hasn't changed on my Netflix, but I've seen many screenshots where it's the ratings going up.
Huh.
So yeah,
All right.
I'm so excited. October can't get here fast enough.
I am looking forward to watching a cute thing.
Yeah, it'll be
That's so cute.
nice. It sounds like they're gonna handle most of the heavy stuff in the like beginning,
At the top of it.
middle,
Yeah.
and then kind of move into the like happy, spicy half of the season
Mm.
in the back end, based on what the actors have said in various interviews thus far. So
Cute. Cute.
we'll have to have you back on in between. So
Yeah.
if there's like specific episodes you love, do you have like a favorite storyline or like
Hmm.
a favorite character?
I don't know, actually. I'm trying to think of like, I mean, I think Charlie is my favorite.
Sweet baby boy.
But like, I feel like I like Charlie because he reminds me of me when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, you have a lot of feelings. I understand.
Yeah. I think Alyssa and I both relate to Charlie a little too much. But also Nick is like my number one, like as a bisexual. I'm like, yeah, go little bi boy. Like just nice to have such wholesome bisexual representation.
Well, and I feel like I'm like, oh, closeted high school Ian would have loved Nick as a boyfriend to like cradle him.
Yeah. But I also love Imogen, who is the one that had a crush on Nick.
Okay,
She
yeah, I do like her.
I will fight you in the street over Imogen. She gets a lot of hate and it's unwarranted in my opinion.
You know who she reminds me of? Did you watch Sex Education? I can't remember.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
of course I can't remember the girl's name, but there's also the blonde girl in that.
Amy.
Yes, they remind me a lot of each other.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because it's like people judge them, but actually they're like kind of sweethearts, and like but
Yeah.
people think like some way about them because they like appear to be like popular mean girls, but they're not.
Yeah, like she's just a clueless little girl living
Yeah.
her positive little life, just trying to be loved.
Yeah.
And then in season 2 she ends up with Ben, which is like I called that shit though. I called it. There was too many scenes of her walking away like arm in arm with him. I was like, no, 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 no. And like that's been a big talking point for us too because Ben is after season 1, he kind of fades out of the comic material. And
Mm.
so when we were getting season 2 press and like seeing how involved he was, we were like, the fuck are they doing with his character?
Yeah.
We don't need
I feel like I
him.
remember you telling me that. Yeah.
But I mean, it worked out because we get the scene at the end where Charlie like tells him off and is like, puts his I think it's really important to show someone getting like a big apology like that and then being like, okay. Because just because someone apologizes doesn't mean you have to like forgive them and let them back into your life. And we don't see that enough in
That's true.
media.
Yeah.
Or if we do, it's like from the other side of it where it's like, oh, that person, like,
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tried to apologize and they're not
Look
talking
how
to me. And
mean
like,
they
how
are.
dare?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, no, you literally assaulted him. He does not have to talk to you or,
Yeah.
but just like the last time we see him in season 1 is when Charlie's telling him off at sports day and he's like, you don't get to make me feel bad just because you hate yourself. And
Mm.
like, yeah, that's correct. And they could have been like, and now he's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they brought him back to like help the Imogen storyline. It's like she could have dated any other boy and we could have had the same,
Yeah.
like any other boy could have treated her like shit and we could have had the same outcome.
Yeah. Because there's
It didn't have to be Ben.
those two bully guys that did come around, but like the
Oh, Harry and his friend.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
feel like I mean they came around eventually, but like that one of them could have been right.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been literally anyone else. It could have even been that she had a crush on Isaac. And
Hmm.
then we wouldn't have needed James so much, and I love James, but like we could have rolled those storylines together to not have Ben.
That's true.
I don't know. But then we're also getting a lot of DMs right now about our opinions on that. People are like, I think it's really important that we see Charlie's progress with the situation. I'm like, yes, but also like he wouldn't have had to confront him a second time had he not fucking basically stalked him all season.
Yeah, that's true.
And like him showing up at Elle's art exhibit is like, one, he wasn't invited to that. He saw it on social media. We know it was a train right away. He fucking hiked his ass up there, knowing Charlie would be there, waited outside, like hidden behind a pole until they left, like, and then ambushed him. Like, no, we don't need this man. That's just my opinion, I guess. I don't know. But Ben's
I
a
only
hot
like it
topic.
just I only like it because for me it's like yeah sometimes the kid that bullies you like doesn't go away, he's just like there all the time, and like
It's
you kind of
true.
have to deal with like seeing them, like
That's
I feel like
true.
that's very high school where it's like yeah I fucking hate this person but I also still see them, they're in a bunch of my classes, I still interact with them daily because we go to school together. So that's the only reason I do kind of like that is just because like that is kind of what happens, right? When you're in high school and it's like, even if you're like, fuck you, I hate you to the guy and like have your moment, you still like see them.
Yeah, that's valid. That's a valid argument. I'd still just fucking hate his face. Hashtag yeet
Understandable.
Ben Hope. But yeah, he will not be in season 3, so we don't have to worry about him anymore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see what they do with Harry in season 3 to see if he remains like making progress as a human
Yeah.
being and or if he reverts back. Because I feel like he wouldn't like there is that scene in the comics where they're like on the Eiffel Tower and he like tells everybody to leave him alone or whatever, and they put that in the show. But I do like that they put that scene before they go up on the Eiffel Tower when they're all doing their like little worksheets, and Isaac gets paired up with Harry, and he like fucking goes off on him. I think that was smart because in the comics it feels out of left field. Like it feels weird that Harry just all of a sudden is being nice to them, and I feel like in the show having that scene thrown in, like it's like, oh, okay, so Isaac like got to him a little bit.
Okay, that
And
makes sense.
so, but then like they don't let him in the party, so I can see him reverting back and being like, well, I tried to be nice and you didn't let me in the party.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh, I
I
forgot that
guess
was
we'll
after
see.
they like have their makeup moment, right?
Yeah. So we'll see what they do with his character, but super stoked to see Isaac's journey. I'm ready for more Ace Rep. I want to see how he feels after season 2, because the last bit we see is him like grabbing that book and like getting his little leaf moment with the book, and then he's, they do their like prom party at Nick's house or whatever. And so I'm excited to see how he develops further after reading that book and like kind of understanding himself a little more.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the characters that like isn't in the comics. So it's like, what
Oh,
are they
okay.
going to do
Oh, I
with
didn't
him?
know that.
Him and
Okay.
Imogen are not in the comics. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
All right.
So
I don't
I
know why
kind of
thought-
know where Imogen's story's going, hopefully based on season 2. I don't know if you picked up on it, but like her and Sahar kind of have like a little something something brewing
Well, that's because wait, is Sahar? Which
in the
one is?
band.
Okay. I was like, isn't Imogen like we were leaning towards her being queer, right? Like I felt like
Yeah.
that's what they were leaning into. Like she's probably queer. We're like, questioning or something. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we like slowly see them like get closer. We get their like truth or dare scenes where they're like clearly they used to be close, but then Sahar's like, oh, well, Imogen got a boyfriend and she stopped texting me. And then Imogen's like, no, you stopped texting me. And then we see them later and they're like cuddled up in bed together. And then we get the scene at prom where Imogen's like watching Sahar perform and she gets this very like flustered, like, whew, what am I feeling right now face. And so I'm like really excited to see where they take those two in season 3.
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. And it's always such an easy watch too, because it's like 30-minute, 10 episodes, right? Maybe
8.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so super easy to binge.
If anything, I would say like a critique would be like they could be longer, like a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like them to be longer, but also Alyssa and I have talked about this, and they have a great point of that they have like a formula that's working for them right now,
Yeah.
and so
Like don't
like
fuck up
don't
the
fuck with the
yeah.
formula, which
I
I
agree.
get, but also you could put out like 46 hours of this show at once and I would be like, don't talk to me for days. I'm gonna watch this.
Like,
So
well, I have to binge it all the way through, so I called out of work for a week.
yeah. I'm gonna take off for season 3 like I did for season 2. I don't know if you remember, but for season 2 I took off and I stayed up. It came out at 3 a.m. my time. So I was up for like 37 hours before I went to sleep.
Ashley, oh god. I feel like you don't enjoy it fully then because you're like so
I
like
did.
delirious.
I definitely did. I tried to sleep. After work, I like clocked out and I tried to go to bed, but I was just like, and I
Yeah.
just couldn't sleep. So I ended up staying up and I watched like all of season 1 and had season 1 end just in time for me to like hit play on season 2. And so Zach like wakes up at like 6:30 a.m. and I'm like at the end of the season, like he comes out, he's like, how is it? I'm like, it's so good. My makeup's just like everywhere. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, they're both cute and precious.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. And Alyssa and I will be back very soon. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.